Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Mrs. Parente, and I'm Taft's Dean of Academic Affairs. At this point in the year, most of you know me as the course change lady, but it is also my job to oversee the entire academic program at Taft. I'm here this morning to speak with you about the exciting opportunities that lie ahead this year in the classroom, and to focus you on engaging fully in your academic experience. Returning students, I'm hopeful that you are already familiar with the following quotation from our student handbook, specifically the section on scholarship. At the very least, I used it in my academics talk last year, so you've heard it once before. All Taft students are scholars. They seek knowledge, understanding, and mastery in an academic setting. They find joy in collaborating with others, exploring new ideas, and becoming lifelong learners. This is how your teachers view you, and this is what we're excited about doing in our work with you. We hope that you start to think of yourselves in this way, as scholars who approach their classes with excitement, inspiration, and enthusiasm, rather than passively progressing through your assigned class meetings and submitting your graded work. Put another way, we want you to focus not just on the product of what you submit in each class, but on the process of what and how you are learning. You may be less familiar with our newly published Portrait of a Learner. This builds upon the previous statement about academic scholarship and describes the ideals of what we want each of you to exemplify. Certainly, these behaviors and attributes apply outside of the classroom as well, but for this morning, I want you to consider these 7 aspects of the Portrait of the Learner as goals for your work within our academic program. They describe the true purpose of why you are here, which is not to check off a prescribed list of assignments in order to earn credit in a particular set of classes. Look at the specific tenets of the Portrait of a Learner. You'll notice that they're written about a person in the process of learning, someone striving, building, practicing, pursuing. Nowhere up here does it say that we want our students to submit 10 error-free papers and solve 1,000 math problems. Perfect papers and problem sets can be proof of someone living out these ideals, but frankly, we know that the technology exists to do these things for you, removing yourself from the need to think critically and apply your learning. The product itself doesn't reflect any learning unless you have truly engaged in the process. We want you to focus deeply on the process of learning itself, not on the output of your work. As you are getting settled into your classes this year, please give yourself the time and grace to learn something new, even if that means that you get a bad grade or 2 along the way. You are here to learn, not just to learn French, biology, or world history, but to learn how to adjust when your approach isn't working, and to learn how to contribute to the goals of a group growing and working together. Does this sound unattainable? Idealistic? We don't think so, and we think that you are the proof of this. I asked my colleagues to recall examples of their students already living out our Portrait of a Learner, and their responses will illustrate how we see you putting this into action. Mrs. Ludlow nominated Taeyeon as a student living out the tenet of striving for wisdom. Over the summer, he collaborated with 2 friends on developing a new product, a clean, smokeless incense. The trio ultimately patented their invention and placed second in an international entrepreneurship competition. To be clear, not everyone needs to invent something new and enter an international competition in order to live out our Portrait of a Learner. Nominated by her lower mid-English teacher, Erin is a student who finds joy and purpose. Last year, she gave her This I Believe speech about her belief in the power of smiling. Her speech was creative, positive, and shared inspiration about her approach to learning and meeting new people. Dr. Hill nominated Meredith as someone who nurtures relationships. Meredith is friendly with a diverse group of people, including peers, adults, and faculty children. She engages in conversation with genuine curiosity and is often seen with a smile on her face, an encouraging word for others, or making someone laugh. Carson's upper mid-English teacher nominated him as a student who builds resilience. He fully invested himself last year in the process of writing by being open to feedback and changing the way he was interacting with text. He showed consistent tenacity to improve himself, as well as those around him. Practicing humility can be shown in a variety of ways. Recently, Miss Beam was speaking with Valentine at sit-down dinner about how several years ago it was students and not faculty who cleaned up after seated meals. After dinner, he went straight for the cart of cleaning supplies and not only cleaned his own table, but encouraged others to clean the rest of the section. What a great example of a new student being humble, self-aware, and valuing service. For pursuing excellence, we have one more nomination from an English teacher. Oops, a little too far. Lincoln's upper mid English teacher noticed his willingness to contribute to class discussions and activities each day. She remarked that he was a leader among his peers, and his buy-in to their class influenced those around him positively. Finally, we come to the seventh tenet, live with honor. This one is harder to praise publicly, as being honest, taking responsibility, and acting with integrity sometimes only happen after someone has done the opposite. In an ideal world, all of our students would be honest, take responsibility, and act with integrity all of the time. But we also recognize that all humans make mistakes, and we're here to work with you when you do. This provides a perfect segue into another topic I need to discuss frankly with you as a student body, the Taft Honor Code. The Honor Code was established first in 1913, meaning that over 100 years of Taft students have pledged to uphold these same ideals of scholarship. Notably, the Honor Code was established by students as a code among students, with the intention that the faculty should not need to supervise this. By now, you have had multiple graded assessments across your classes, and I'm hopeful that you're familiar with the pledge that you are expected to sign at the conclusion of each quiz, test, or any assessment. I have neither given nor received aid on this paper. As we welcome so many new students to our campus each year, it is important that we have a shared understanding of what exactly you are swearing when you sign your name to this statement on each assignment, and why this is important. Whether you write this pledge in full or just sign your name, you are attesting that you have upheld the following expectations. All students must be honest with respect to all academic matters. Generate and submit work that is exclusively their own unless collaboration is permitted and appropriately acknowledged. When collaborating with others, abide by the teacher-prescribed guidelines. Appropriately cite works or individuals consulted. Sit for assessments, including exams, without assistance from others or from unapproved devices. Not copy or cheat from another student's work. These are fundamental expectations of all Taft students, and we take very seriously situations in which one or more of these points are violated. The most common theme we hear in cases of academic dishonesty is that the student felt overwhelmed by their work and made a poor choice out of stress or fear of missing a deadline. Please understand that your teachers are here at Taft because we love working with you and we want you to succeed. Talk to your teacher or reach out to your advisor or class dean before you make a choice in violation of the Academic Honor Code. Next Monday in advisory, we will ask you to sign a statement attesting to your understanding of the Taft Honor Code, specifically with regard to academic honesty. If this is all new to you, take the initiative to read the information in the student handbook and ask questions of your teachers, your advisor, or come speak with me. If you are looking at these 6 bullet points and thinking, how does this apply to me? Here is my best advice. Number 1, know and follow the directions. If you are supposed to do work on your own, don't use outside resources. If you are permitted to research or collaborate, make sure that you're staying within the stated bounds of an assignment. Number 2, don't lie, not even a fib. If you haven't finished your paper, tell your teacher that. Don't buy time by telling them that you forgot to share a document with them. Number 3, don't bring your cell phone with you to class. Put your smartwatch in your backpack. Keep yourself free from the temptation of unapproved resources. It is a tale as old as time that technology will continue to learn skills that previous generations felt were irreplaceable. I graduated from high school in 2005, which means that I was learning math from algebra to calculus during the advent of the graphing calculator. My classmates and I began to question the point of memorizing our mathematical formulae when we could just run a program in our trusted TA-83s. Google Translate's early versions came out in 2006, when I was a college student majoring in Latin and ancient Greek. The temptation to use this new tool was strong. I had to fight competing forces of wanting to learn deeply while also wanting to finish my mountains of schoolwork so that I could socialize or just sleep. I want to acknowledge the great temptation that exists for your generation to use generative artificial intelligence as a shortcut in your schoolwork. Simultaneously, there exists an extraordinary opportunity for your generation to use it responsibly in order to accelerate and deepen your learning. Not all AI is bad. We still don't want you to use it to write your paper for you. But if it's 9:30 p.m. tonight and you're studying the forms of the first declension for my Latin 1 test, tomorrow, by the way, E-block, you can have generative artificial intelligence act as a personal tutor and walk you through the steps of how to decline a noun and provide examples for practice. To be clear, our expectations for use of generative artificial intelligence in graded academic work have not changed. I am not endorsing the use of any form of generative AI to complete graded work without the express permission of your teacher. However, the faculty believe that you can understand the distinction between submitting work created with assistance from generative AI and using generative AI as a tool to deepen your learning. Most importantly, if you are ever unsure about what the parameters for a particular assignment are, just ask your teacher, even if they've already said it 5 times. Take the time to ask clarifying questions about appropriate resources for an assignment before making a choice you could later regret. Before I close today, I want to return to the more positive and I hope inspirational part of today's talk, my charge for each of you to engage with the tenets of the portrait of a learner in guiding your own academic experience. You've heard examples of your peers who are already leaning into this work meaningfully. And I hope that you leave from today's gathering feeling excited to engage deeply and throw yourself into the process of learning. Maybe your picture will appear next time. Thank you for your time and attention.